Howdy. The complexity of molds in the Universe line are somewhat mixed up amongst the size classes. While Galvatron is too complex for a deluxe, Silverbolt here is too simple for an ultra, as you'll see in this review. The jet mode, the actual jet, is sleek, like a Concorde. Some sources have suggested this has elements of an XB-70 bomber. Regardless, it looks very nice, with great proportions for the most part, and some good mold detailing. The use of silver for paint apps was a wise choice, as it helps to break up all that dull grey. I especially like the transparent blue and orange plastic used for the jet engines. It gives this a futuristic feel. There's some markings on the jet, including Bolt 25. No surprise what that hints at. He has some sound effects when you push this button. Unfortunately, they're the same sounds as power glides, just in a different order. The gunfire, the flyby, and the power-up. And yes, there are LEDs at the front and back. You can display him with or without the gun attached to his nose cone. And the gun, of course, has the typical spring-loaded missile. There is, however, one big problem. The undercarriage chunk is terrible. I mean, it's bulkier than the jet itself, and it doesn't really blend in at all. As Purg says in his review, you could literally slice here and get two separate pieces. I know Silverbolt was a cargo plane on Cybertron, but this is ridiculous. A smaller problem is that the landing gear looks bad in pinkish orange. It is retractable though. The transformation is the simplest of the three Ultras and probably the most simplistic of the new Universe molds so far. When you push the spine up, the forward transformation sound activates. When pulled down, you get the reverse sound. Additionally, the eyes light up. The robot mode is arguably the most G1 accurate out of all the Universe figures I've looked at. From the proportions, to the moulding, to the way the paint apps are laid out, this is a very faithful homage. The colours themselves aren't strictly correct, but are okay, other than that ugly pinkish orange. His head sculpt is great. At first it appears he's smiling, but he's actually got a slightly nervous expression, which fits in with his fear of heights. You can push this button, and like Power Glide, you only get the gunfire this time. He does light up, but only at the back, which is kind of a bummer. A big flaw here is that none of the true jet parts form a part of the robot. He ends up with this huge backpack. Okay, it does resemble something of a rocket pack, but even still. Articulation is good in theory, but the backpack causes problems, and the heel spur joints are weak. Once you get past all that, posing isn't too bad, but not perfect. I've seen a kit bash of Superion which includes this version of Silverbolt. Indeed, the long legs would allow for some leg units, though arm units would be harder to create. Still, he has some good potential for the kit bashers. Overall, I do like the figure. I just wish he was a bit more complex and interesting. All three Ultras are worth getting, but Silverbolt's at the bottom of the list. Unless of course you particularly like the character. Next I'm looking at Beast Wars Waspinator. Until then, Happy New Year everyone!